Welcome back to Disco Elysium, where we want to talk to the Pale driver to learn more about the Pale. I think I know what's going on with you. And what is that? You're a Pale driver, you transport goods through the Pale. Great. He asked the Pines rep about the Pale, now he's talking to everyone about it. Fine then, just try not to black out again and don't contemplate, we don't have time for that. I didn't black out. Oh, I'm contemplating, Kim. I'm drawing existential conclusions from this. Exactly what I didn't want you to do. My partner wanted to know if you work in Pale transport. No offense, but your partner seems like a bit of an idiot. Republica cigarettes from Mask. Republica, that's not very healthy. Neither is Pale transportation, life is transitory. I blacked out of a night of heavy drinking and lost all memory of the world. Like Gabriel Buengero and Pergunta Puera. You're the opposite of me then, I remember everything, even things I never knew. Things you never knew? I smell liquor on Gabriel's lips after the shoot in the motor park, the roses on the day of Franco Negro's coronation on the grand stairs of rail, the smoke from the polling place where Dolores Day was shot, the look on her face like an orgasm, that wound in her chest, my hand in my father's hand. Except I never had a father and I never shot her innocent Dolores Day. Over radiation? Heroic doses, sheriff, heroic. Isn't that dangerous? Thought insertion? Dithering? The Grat Cathla Magistral? It's more than dangerous, it's sad, but at first I had to make a living. Now, when you've seen it all go away like that, running off like the sea and then come back to this? What are we doing here? For thousands of years, Gabriel, it doesn't have to be like this. We can just give up, we can just become vapor. How does it look like, the Pale? Like looking into the ocean at night, in the dark. You cannot see it, but you know it's there. It's big, bigger than anything, bigger than all the other things combined. What does it feel like? Nothing until it starts, when you're deep enough. Then, for me, it's like autumn. Dark grey and orange, the orange of streetlights and the color of trees in the electric light. It smells like autumn too. It smells terrible. Nostalgia, cooped up in the cabin, shaking. Terrible nostalgia. For yourself, for humans, it's too much to bear. She loves it. How do you pass through it? In the belly of an airship behind steel windows, so you don't look straight into it. It's not advised to look into it. Not on this lorry, then. No, the same one, a roller. They all are nowadays. Special wheels for connecting to the floor of the hold. She points to the machines clumped up like toys. One last thing, you said we can just become vapor? Yes. No elaboration. I feel I already have what you have in some way. They said there's a point, one that I have not crossed in the Pale super deep if you stray too far, of course, on the U41A or in Limonosov's land, where every step you take is one step further from home, no matter the direction. It's a point you cannot come back from. Your mind becomes so radiant with the past there's a flip. Instead of writing, it erases memory, nearing some kind of indescribable finale. Maybe you've been down the motorway south. She looks at her cigarette, it's almost out, she has swallowed it hungrily, then at you. The motorway south. It's a story of us longhorsemen tale, longhorsemen sheriff and not Pale drivers, way beyond the established Pale that's lit by radio frequencies, where it goes silent and dark and the process begins. Erasure, kilometer by kilometer. In any direction, the motorway south is a road you cannot come back from. In the center of this town there's a ghostly waterway, she sang. It takes all the people where they want to stay. They say I've been away on some kind of holidays. What is at the end of Motorway South? No one knows what's at the end, I've only glimpsed the beginning. I've only felt it in the distance when I was a child rowing on the lake. Ma'am? Hosiana. There's nothing more to do now, she's far away, she's receding in the clutches of some indescribable scattered emotion, a child descending. You fried both your brains enough for today, detective. Let's get some air. This one's far gone. Okay, what the fuck is always... I'm now highlighting everything that it doesn't always show me that point there. I hope. After every conversation it says, you have something new in your items. No, I haven't. Do I have the bag equipped? Yeah. Motorway south. At the edge of the map, the landmass begin to disintegrate into pure trigonometry. The ocean melts, becoming a tangle of sines and cosines. The mountain's range turns into a sharp-angled azimuth. Its green range shadow dithers, like music turning into a waveform, and then it vanishes. This is the end, a half-remembered textbook from your childhood. The porch collapsing on the edge of the isolite. Transition from reality to pale. A single vector shoots out like a rocket. It's the motorway south, splintering off from the known pale. To where? Where does it go? Internalize. No, I'm bad at visual calculus. Great. I have other points. I could put 1 point into esprit de corps to try that thing again. Let's do that. We are 4 points away from leveling up again, so I think I can afford that. Now it's showing me that we can do the shack again. This one. And that's what I'm going to do now. And then I'm finally going to talk to her about the lorry drivers, but I will save before that in case I somehow give away the conclusions, because I don't want to give away the things. I would rather search for my badge than tell her anything.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Six kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chet Tilbrook takes aim at a rabbit. At a rabbit black dog licking its wound in the grass. To his left, his partner Emil Mullins whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind." "Don't worry, Emil. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do. What am I?" You're an officer of the RCM. Reverchol Citizens Militia. Preciso mundo. Good. And what is the Reverchol Citizens Militia? Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Reverchol detective. Yes, we are the RCM. He's been sarcastic. Are we? We are. You said de facto. Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what it's poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin. What do you mean? The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Elements Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire status to the benefit of foreign capital. All 3 are good to know when we're out policing. So I'm basically one of the good guys. There's nothing basic about your role, detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it. Yet on the other hand, I know these people, I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not friends of you. Why? The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revocol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the International Zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens initiative. They will never forgive you. That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Revocolians get to keep the peace in Revocol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue. Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police, the only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revocol. Thank you, ma'am. And if those authorities drink so hard they need help to recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help. Ah, that's just... that's it for the who I am part then. Okay. Good, we have another point.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
I spoke with a lorryman at the roundabout. Yes, my eyes on the harbor have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered? Wait, where exactly are these eyes located? It doesn't really matter, and I do apologize for the surveillance. White Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation. If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation subject to confidentiality. I'm sure you understand. Of course, Detective, in any case, you've held up your end of the arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on your hands. What bloodbath? Yes, I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war with possible consequences for all of Revocol West. Since you're sharing, ma'am, this is also RCM's worst-case scenario. Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be. I've already heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike, but I need your testimony. I have an indirect role to play, I am to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail. A momentary lapse of faith? They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer. Every worker, a member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor. Do you need a security detail? Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the union into surrendering. Who are they exactly? Krenel, an Orangese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment. And they are 3. And 1 is dead. So what happened? The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling rakes and lynched last Sunday night. What then? Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbor. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Krenel contractors carry out their orders for now. For now. It's a smokescreen. In secret they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow. What's the nature of this so-called investigation? Whether to execute one, some, or all of the union's militants. You've made a mess here. It was a union who stung him from that tree. My hope is that you provide a single concrete suspect before Krenel indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the union to respond. The debaucheurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1. Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty. These men work in tandem using semi- and fully automated firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most union workers don't have guns at all. As I said, a bloodbath. Isn't this a pretty bleak scenario you're describing? Many bleak scenarios have already come to nameless bachelor's detective of their citizens' militia. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse the situation. What can you tell me about Krenel? Not much. Their public resume is relatively good as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. Down the deep black well. They boast a long list of clients: St. Baptiste, Welshman Lawrence, Indirect. Warning sign, however, the operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries, guarding facilities, escort missions and such, meaning they're used to operating in war zones. Yes, all the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Jesuit, the Seminoles Island, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil. Okay, anything else you got on them? Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though. Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am? In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I would be dealing with a group like Krenel. Could you contact the company, tell them to call them off? I have, and they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us. She's being truthful. She's pressing them as hard as she can. You said the deceased assaulted a woman? Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the kennel. I cannot testify by it. Who did the passing on then? The remaining contractors, their tribunal, it's what they believe. What did these teenagers by the kennel say? That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman? I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez. This does not come as news to us, but still, to your knowledge, where did the assault took place, if you know? Last Sunday night at the Whirling in Rex, they're hosted by the gates. Supposedly the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he is alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometimes later a group of dock workers got their hands on him. I know the woman you're talking about, we have it under control. Good, then you've made progress. It's imperative that you move fast, the tribunal will not be patient. This colonel, the one who was hanged, did you know him? If you mean did I see him alive? Yes, but I did not know him. His name was? Lely. His service name, a nom de guerre most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name, only one of them did, a bad sign if there ever was one. Tell me about the others first. One is a man, Corty they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator. What would you say was his eye color, the deceased? She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head. I can't remember. The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small detail first to see if she knew him better than she let on. She passed. That's all right, ma'am. Anything else? Nationality? What will you say was his age? He was 40 or 50, it's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw, made it difficult to estimate his age or gauge his facial expressions. What else? Nationality, accent. He was Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Orangese or Messinian maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know. I guess I only met him once. Where are the other mercs now? They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they are almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the RCM as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes, ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting. We still need to know where they are. You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved. Where are these mercenaries? Good that the bonuses give away who one of the mercenaries is, the scab leader. Where are these mercenaries? One is obviously the scab leader at the harbor gates, the one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers. One must be the goon in ill-fitting work clothes by the harbor gates, the scab leader. That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kill the hornet's nest. For all your talking of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gates is a powder keg. Does this not bother you? Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant, but my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the union? Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace. And the other one is in a building overlooking the roundabout. That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible. Where's your radio for? Contacting them, if I may ask. Do you have an earpiece? Heavens no, I'm not an undercover agent. There's a shortwave at the ship's wheel. I had another question. How much time do we have? Until the execution starts? Truthfully? I do not know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience. They don't report their progress to you. Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. There's a brief silence. Seagulls squawk over the bay. 5 days, not more, maybe sooner. It's a matter of days, not weeks. That's enough for now. Can you tell me about these tattoos? Of course, excuse my hesitation before. She wears fingerless gloves, so her fingernails are cut short and fractures like those of a working woman. It is taken with a trigger not long ago. This is man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs. I observed the woman's expression. Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The purse of her eyes move slowly in the photo surface. What do you think? So I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between those points, the stars. I can't, but that's how you read the story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body and distance from each other tells you what they represent. Like wires on a microcircuit. Close. Port cities. This is an orangey's map of the waterways. A sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Lorraine centuries. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels. What's the use of this map? The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption. To be reeled back in by the silver cord, they would call it. Where's he now? I've spoken to him. For now the soul is fastened inside his corpse. That is precisely what the sailors feared when they drew these maps, a fear of drowning within one's own corpse. What travels did the dead man make? Quite a few. Vredefort, the Orangey's capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think. What next? Then he made his way to the Prato Grande through what I think must be a Staatskanal, an artificial channel through the Occident. Yeah, that just means States Canal in Netherlands. What is the language of the Netherlands called in English? It's Dutch. Dutch. Yeah. An artificial channel through the Occident. From the Prato he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean. First the Seminoles Islands, then this. What's that? Ravachol. They are the two contestants, Vredefort on the shoulder and Ravachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insolent at the dawn of the Inter-Isolary Age. The old world passing by and the new world already there. You said you can't read it. I can't. This man was no sailor and there are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meanings. Somewhere in an office lit by a single green desk lamp, Captain Ptolemy Price, 58, bald and bespectacled, is writing in a ledger on his desk, rows and rows of days and weeks, laconic remarks in a single column. Petrol case, vacation injured. In Martinez, looking into Krenel, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside there's a siren, distant gunshots in the street of Shamrock Partner. This man is no brother of mine, but this is his service history. That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident, mercenary tattoos. For the boys looking for an adventure, a blood splatter on the seas. Who could tell me more? His platoon members, the other contractors, though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade. I need the information. Ask a scrap leader about the tattoos. Do what you have to. I don't think deciphering that tattoo would come before public security, but if you should wait until the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you. We will be careful, ma'am. That's all for the tattoos. Thank you for your help. And it's all for now. And we have a new task about the victim's tattoos. To ask the scrap leader. We have 3 points now. Okay. First order of business. Let's talk... First, let's talk to you again, because you have dyed hair. Green dyed hair.
Hello again, officer.
Nope. She doesn't seem to be the woman. But that's the woman I thought of when I heard about the suspect dyeing her hair. Okay, next order of business is speaking with the car. Let's ask him about his tattoos. I mean, we can talk to him, why shouldn't we? Okay. Doesn't work that way, sadly. Can I talk to the things again? So, our Otso wasn't in the back of the whirling. I don't know, they are about the same size, not the same boot, no, but they could be the same person. No horizontal boot prints, whoever walked in the whirling's pinball workshop didn't walk here. No, these prints are pretty standard, the ones in the dust-locked room looked custom. In the dust looked custom, or maybe they're just a foreign design, it's a boot print, whatever the case. We've been through all of it. Whenever I see that container up there, I always think of, have I done everything with the book? I'll have to, with the ledger, I'll have to recheck. Radio. Have you heard back from the ICP about the serial number? Yes, the armor was produced by Fairweather in the facilities in Bettencourt, sur le Clef in 42. It was part of a special order for Corps de Pharmacie, a security firm contracted to protect the interests of RNG's pharmaceutical companies in the Seminine conflict, so it seems the armor went to Seminine. That's where the paper trail ends, though. Even the firm has proven difficult to track. Corps de Pharmacie has been renamed several times in the years since the armor was issued. I'm guessing one of its names is Krenel. Yes, she seems glad you guessed it. That is the most recent name the ACP has been able to connect to the CDP. And the one before it was Downwell. It also have one. I also have one called Sediment, but I think that might be a different contractor. No, they were called Sediment and Somato Sensor, all that during the last 9 years. Armor like this isn't mass-produced, it would have probably been fitted. Perhaps there's a record of who signed for this particular suit of armor. A suit of armor like this would have been customized to fit the wearer. There must be a record of the person to whom it was issued. Yes, but the ICP tends to be reluctant to share private sector records. I could try to talk them into it, though. There's a fun challenge for her, an opportunity to contribute beyond doing her job by road. She'll gladly put in the extra effort for Team RCM. Yes, thank you, officer. I really appreciate your efforts in this case. Glad to help. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully I have more for you then. 41st? No. Okay. I wanted to ask about Krenel, but we already heard that. That was another way to find out about that if we didn't find the number. Do we really want to talk to the SCAP leader and confront him? Let's do it. Let's do something incredibly dumb. I know who you are, man.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Are you a mercenary hired by White Pines? Hey, no, I'm just an honest scab. I won't have talked like that around here, you understand? It just has to be said. That was not a convincing line. Is there a tribunal being convened by any chance? Fucking bug. He breaches out slowly, his giant chest deflating and his mouth slightly open. You hear a tiny rattle, a small radio cracking somewhere, an earpiece. I'm going to interpret that as a yes. There's a tribunal and it won't be long until it's ready. How about you fuck off, huh? Okay, of course. There could be weapons aiming at us right now, somewhere above in the buildings. The other merc, don't push this. He's thinking this is not the time. Hell no, I'm just a honest scab. That doesn't sound too convincing. Fucking loincloth. Loincloth? Now you see, that's not really what a scab would say, is it? Better not to press the issue further, sire. He seems tense. Okay. I think you may be able to help me decipher some tattoos. Don't think so. Suddenly this feels like a really bad idea. It was on your corner. Wordless, he takes the photo and looks at it. Grey eyes dart back and forth the glossy surface. His face is unmoving. You see dead flesh in colorful rivers of polychrome, melting skin and hair. After a while, he cranes his head side to side and laughs. Fucking loincloth really did him in. Loincloth? Yeah. Can you tell me what that tattoo means? What it means? He points to one tiny star in the web of lines away from the man's heart, almost on his stomach. I can tell you what this one means. Only one. He squints at it. It's so small. You want to hear what happened here? Yes. Our corner is deep in the bush here. Deep in the fucking bush. In Banaital 41 monsoon season. He is on a reconnaissance mission. He spent a month behind enemy lines scouting kip villages. Nothing but fucking bugs and snakes for fun. Men are getting restless. There's talk of switching employers. He licks his lips ever drunkenly with some strange emotion. This is about to get really graphic. Last moment to back off. I don't interrupt him. Our boy, he's only captain then, but he knows how these men think. If they don't see action soon. His voice gets strangely quiet, a long way from right to work. His gaze pierces the paper. At dawn, he comes upon two kids breeding in the bushes by the river. Or maybe they weren't breeding, maybe they were just making eyes at each other. I like to think they were breeding. We shot the boy, he was useless, but the girl, she was nice, a little fat, you know, but not too old. She was quite the entertainment for the week she lasted, expired in the hands of Sarge Mason, the kind of guy who'd make shift there. He nods towards the man on the gate, shit his pants and cry like a bitch. God, Mason wouldn't let go, cut the tits off her cold body and fucking ate them, said primitive spirits were watching over him now. Drowned in a creek a week later, spirits my ass. There's word on the tips of your tongue, colorless, odorless, it's... evil. You bet it was. What is evil? It's just nature. This guy, he used to say evil is when nature and spirit meet in the wrong place. You were there? No, I was in the domain in Jamrock, being a bouncer. You're not really a scab leader, are you? Fucking mask's getting sweaty. I won't take my mask off. I won't take my mask off, but can I have it back? Go ahead. Free commerce, keep the goods flowing. On the photo in your hands, the dead man's skin is shadowed with stars, tens, hundreds of them, littering the dead skin. The victim's tattoos. Ask another about the tattoo's possible meanings. Can you tell me about another one? Nope. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. We can bring back the one bottle with double D. I have no idea why I pronounce it that way. Bottle. And we get 20 centime. Okay. Next order of action. The apartment building 33A and 33B. We have the key for that. And then towards the harbor. But first the apartment building. Have I paid for today? I've paid for today. Seems like it anyway. Okay. The graffiti says a firing spot for the rich. Foreclosed by Martinez Realty Associates. It's nothing. What's this? "16 days in coldest April." I've gotten something to read for the night. Great. Sea below looks cold and winter grey. Someone has torn down the wall. The fridge has healing stuff and money. An old grocery list on the table and checks. What happened here? You can't foreclose on an apartment with a hole in the wall. It will still be accessible through the apartment next to it. That one didn't have a door. Sadly, nothing of great value remains here. There's always a little something in the fridge. Indeed. What's that? Ah, that's the interactable. Okay, that's no problem that it goes like that. Okay, I can try it from behind, but this is locked. Okay, let's go to the balcony. Because I saw a box there and the girl. And not too much to go to, which should be alright for the rest of the episode. Tear bottle. Another tear bottle. The lock is rusty, you can't get in. Someone's been sleeping here recently. Cindy. Enough coal to last for several winters, smells of chemicals. 100 tiny feet scurrying beneath the grate, the rats of the city. Pour l'homme laborer jeans. The other one doesn't open. What does... Although these jeans look worn, the wearer must have had an ass given to them by the mighty Lord himself. That beautiful peach-shaped mine ass has imprinted itself so deep in the fabric you can't but wonder if wearing them would start molding your own vague rear side into more shapely form as well. What is mine? Savoir-faire minus and electrochemistry. This is plus electrochemistry as well, but reaction speed instead of savoir-faire. Looks better. The pockets of these new jeans are perfect for sticking your hands into. It makes you look calm and collected. As your hand enters the pocket, your fingers brush against something soft yet crinkly. Take it out. Hey, it's a chewing gum wrapper. It reminds you of the fruity juice of apricots. You should inspect it closer if you have time. Something about the wrapper's texture is familiar. Okay. And that one is closed. Let's try the pry bar. Lots of money. And... this is always new because it has stuff in it now. That's what it does. Okay. But we had another interactable. A gleaming chewing gum wrapper found in the packet of the laborer jeans. This gives off an ever so faint scent of apricots. Your mouth starts watering. There's it again. That is again the scent of apricots with a touch of cinnamon. Smells like the end of some distant summer, the surface of another planet or some ancient temple. Ancient temple? From the height of antiquity, a long, long time ago, millennia ago, on an island of time you can never return to. The sun sets into the sea, but the water does not boil. Instead, it turns to liquid gold. For a moment, the world's stores of precious metals seem to increase dramatically, and you are rich. There's a movement next to you, the shuffle of a small cord, warm like the evening. But when you turn towards, there's nothing there. Where did it go? Why are you talking to gum wrappers? Take a deep, deep breath. Bitter, citrus, sweet. It seems to grow stronger like a glow with every breath you take, until a blossom of skin and flower petals erupts in behind of your closed eyes. Make sure, made of toffee cream and distance, you just had to take a dive. Feels so, so familiar. Okay. You have found a trace of your entity who's been stalking you across the plains. The gloomy stalker, the conglomeration, the shadowy organization behind your downfall, possibly connected to the dreaded X something. Granted, it is impossible to determine its true identity, but you can remember where you first smelled its treachery. Yes, use the Tutti Frutti gum wrapper, reconstruct the day you first breathed in her untrustworthy atoms. And then unlock this slot. And internalize. I have so many thoughts active. Okay. Let's talk to the girl. I don't think she'll have anything to say to me. Maybe I can talk to her about her staying up here. Ah, there's a window over there. Interesting.
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves, but here you are.
That's right, we've evolved.
Yeah, I can see that. Cool mutations.
That smell coming from my paint bucket, it's not paint, it's heavy fuel oil. Is that heavy fuel oil? Red dyed heavy fuel oil intended for exclusive use in government vehicles, to be precise. What do you think I was using? Aquarel? Sucked it out of Cobb's fuel tank myself, back in Jamrock. She really did it, she's proud of it too. That's some clever cultural commentary. You ain't seen nothing yet, Piggy Boo. Is that better in the coal room yours? Oh, not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner. She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal. It's not the nicest place, but I guess it'll have to do. It doesn't have to do anything at all, nothing does. Like me, right now, I'm doing nothing at all. You're a miner? I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me, but somehow it never happens. Don't you have a real home? Does anyone in a city like this? If there's pain about any particular home she's lost, she's buried it deep, fortified herself against it. I have other questions. Catch you later. Okay, that's everything we have to say to Cindy. And let's go back in again. Okay, we have it next door here. Apartment 8, their mailbox is overflowing. 2 cents. Door number 9 is locked. But we have a postcard. More gold over here. There's another door that I can... There's a person inside that. There's money in the shoe. Someone has drawn a 5-pointed star on the wall. This box is filled with cleaning chemicals. Smells of laundry agent. Flip up glass is the auditor. Minus authority plus logic. These flip-up sunglasses were fashionable in the old, but have lost their popularity. Their thin gold alloy wire frames are a reminder of drug-addled bohemian artists. These days, the glasses are only favored by organized crime accountants who desire to look cool. And we have the Boogie Street card. Eviction notices and missing pets are plastered on top of each other. An old shoe rack, boots, sneakers and old slippers. A loud rumbling snore comes from within the apartment. Yeah, this one didn't have to have an interactable icon. We get magnesium and another Commodore Red. Moss crawls on those bathroom tiles, actual moss. These shower curtains are covered in some sort of slime. And more money. Okay, I'm looking around and not interacting with stuff like that. I assume that's the exit, so balcony. Where the man was. The man that I'm following. A breaker box full of cigarette butts and electric wires. Money. The curtains shift just a little, someone is watching from within. Ooh, that's a lot of bottles. Just a door, nothing for you here right now. Briber. Money inside. Put the bag back here. We can go through this door, okay. Someone's growing rosemary, thyme and a cactus. Number 28 to remember. Number 29. Complete silent. Whoever lives here isn't home. Apartment 30. Singing along to some buoyant dance track. The voices from within. Okay, I can't look at that from here, so we'll have to get inside. But we have this door that also leads to something. Pry bar. Nope. Okay. So this might also be an interesting door for later. Interesting number of bottles up there. We'll definitely loot that at some point. Okay. We'll later interact with all the interactable doors and steal all the stuff. This isn't just a 5-pointed star, it's an inverted white pentagram created in a wreath of antlers, the iconography of communism in other words. The star and antlers were developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mazov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the stars and antlers retain the abilities to evoke hope, disappointment and fear in equal measure. Why is the star upside down? To symbolize the toppling of the old order. What's the deal with the antlers? Oh, also some social democrats were already using it. The normal star. The wreath of the antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world and at the same time above it. Why white? Because white is the color of peace. What does it evoke in me? Gun. Gun is the glory of hope. Only the scribblings of impoverished students remain in dirty hallways. You are the big communism builder now. It's you or no one. My morale was damaged because someone else than me is trying to go for communism. Great. Okay. Only thing to interact with now is that book. The cover features a row of concrete buildings with a monochrome rainbow in the sky. It tells a rather excruciating story about two lovers during an ethnic unrest in Yugoslavia. The book has been filed under psychological realism. Okay. So we'll talk to the lady at the beginning of the next episode, and then we'll go on towards the harbor. So, see you tomorrow. Have a nice day.